Hello everyone, welcome to the video. It's pancake day. I've just created this pancake tower. Just some pretty standard pancakes and some bananas cooked in rum. Will I eat the whole lot? Probably. Will I self-criticize myself for doing it? No. Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Last week I released my first ever YouTube video. Having published it on YouTube, I was very self-critical about myself. Initially I thought other people are going to be the ones that are most critical about my video. It didn't turn out like that. I ended up thinking thoughts like, Chris, your editing skills suck. The value of your videos is non-existent. People aren't going to gain anything from them. And why would you even start posting videos? It led me to do a bit of reading and a bit of research on self-criticism, and one of the main things that I kind of took away from this was that self-criticism is a choice. Now actually self-criticism in itself isn't necessarily completely a bad thing. There are some positives. If you are self-critical about yourself, it can demonstrate an increased level of self-awareness. So if you're being self-critical, it's probably going to be for some sort of reason, maybe not the right reason, but probably for a reason. So for me, I can be very self-critical towards myself in terms of, I look at other people, other friends, people in my life, and I think, wow, look at where they are in their lives. And then I compare that to where I am in my life and think, I need to be more like them. I need to be more kind of at the level where they are. And I'll use that to be very self-critical on myself. Shame on you, Chris, because you haven't actually got to that level yet. You haven't actually got to that kind of, level, place, whatever you want to call it. So I then use that self-critical feeling, those self-critical thoughts as a form of motivation to then propel myself on to that place. This is very negative and it's not something that we should do. A study that I read by Powers and Zuroff, which I will link in the description down below. So they looked primarily at sort of goal achievement and the who and the why around who are you and why is it that you're doing something in terms of your goal attainment. Now, personality theorists stated characteristics such as self-criticism to be very important and having a large impact on why some people meet their personal goals and accomplish certain things and other people don't. Broadly, people who are very self-critical about themselves don't achieve their goals in the same way. Now, one of the reasons for this, self-criticism has been linked to extrinsic forms of motivation. So a bit like I was saying earlier on, where I compare myself to other people outside my life and use that as a form of kind of motivation and to set goals for myself. That's external. And that's probably why I never actually get to wherever it is that I want to go. And all it does is, when I don't achieve those goals, I'm more self-critical about myself because, more shame on you, Chris, because you haven't actually made it to where it is that you want to go. But the very act of using those kind of external influences as a form of motivating yourself is not a good thing to do. The reason why self-criticism amounted to a level of self-regulation within those people, so you kind of regulate yourself, your ideas, your goals. Actually, you won't take steps outside your comfort zone. You won't put yourself into situations where you feel like you're at risk of being negatively thought of by other people in your life, or where you're at risk of failing as well. Because either of those things may lead to feelings of guilt, shame. So let's have a look at what we can do in order to combat self-criticism within ourselves. So firstly, do not entertain those self-critical thoughts. So if we think for a moment of self-critical thoughts as like ideas that are around like here, and those self-critical thoughts will run up to your brain and they'll knock on the door, and you're going to take one look at them, and very often we kind of open the door, let self-critical thought in, and the self-critical thought's going to come into your mind, it's going to kick its feet up. You'll probably end up making it a kind of cup of tea, give it a chocolate biscuit, tell it to sit down whilst you listen to all the negative stuff that it has to say. And before long, self-criticism's friends, guilt and shame, they'll come running along as well. Self-criticism will go to the door, it'll open the door and let in its friends, guilt and shame. And it will tell guilt and shame to sit down in your mind as well. And before long, you have these self-critical thoughts spiraling into thoughts of guilt and shame, and the whole thing's going to manifest itself inside your mind. Do not let them in, okay? We have to be self-aware. Be self-aware of the fact that actually there are these thoughts and they will come to your mind and they will want to come in, but take one look at them, do not let them in, and just exchange those thoughts. Wait for a nice thought to come along. Wait for happiness or desire or some sort of personal value-related goal to come running up to your brain door, and then wait for them to knock on the door and let them in. And feel those kind of thoughts of desire. I think those nice, happy thoughts, and let them in. Let them manifest themselves inside your mind. Do not let those self-critical thoughts come in. That's the first point. Secondly, name your self-critical thoughts. So something that I've started doing recently, and something that I think we should all do, is keep a journal. Write down self-critical thoughts. Write down our thoughts, our feelings. Often just giving a name to something can help us in terms of our ability to then deal with that thought and overcome it. So start off the day by just writing down a couple of things that you're grateful for. And actually this leads on to my third point, which is I'm very grateful for, and one massively important thing in life are the relationships that we have. So actually through posting my video last week, one of the results that came out of that was a lot of people who I'm friends with but perhaps haven't spoken to very recently, or people that I've kind of like known of but we're not really friends, we don't really have any sort of like relationship. They've reached out to me and they've said, well done Chris on, completing this video, found it really good, found it really interesting. And some people have really even gone as far as to creating me things, people that I don't know, they've created me things and sent them to me and said like, here you go, here's something that you might find useful in future. A massive thank you to those people. It's also led to some really interesting conversations with people as well, because you post something out there, you expose yourself, you put your voice out there, people are going to listen to your voice and they're going to come back and be like, oh, actually I'm interested in that kind of stuff as well. Let's talk about that. And one of the reasons that I made the video last week, and actually one of the things that I've kind of realized as being completely true, was that by putting yourself out there, you can cultivate relationships, increase your network. There are people out there that will want to listen to what you have to say and find it valuable. So I watched a couple of weeks ago a video by Ali Abdaal. He is a YouTuber. His videos are absolutely amazing. He has some really important, really good stuff to share. I'd strongly recommend checking him out. He recommended this book called Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. I ordered this book about a week ago. I've read it all completely, cover to cover. Doesn't take very long. There's, lots of drawings and diagrams in there. Pretty cool book. It tells you all about how to share your voice predominantly, cultivate your voice, share your work as a creative person. We're all creative people. We all have a voice inside ourselves. And actually, in order to realize our voice, we have to share it. So the very act of me making these videos is me sharing my voice. And I'm hoping and I'm feeling as though through doing this, I am generating more of a voice. I'm identifying values that are key and clear to me. And I'm hoping that actually what I'm interested in, which is this kind of like self-helpy, slightly philosophical, different stuff that I actually enjoy reading, I'm going to be able to share, which I enjoy doing. I enjoy sharing it, and other people are going to take value from that, and it's going to benefit us all. Ali Abdaal actually uses this really good example of what I was just talking about, which is the idea of serendipity, which means basically unplanned, fortunate discoveries. Now, I'll probably butcher the way that he described this, but here goes. If you were to live in a small village and you never go outside that village, and the same people visit your village each and every day, you'll only ever interact with those people. If you were to hop on a train and get a train to like the next nearest village or like the next nearest town, you'll open up yourself to interact with all sorts of different people, who have different walks of life, different thoughts, different beliefs, different values, and you're going to communicate with them, and your network is just going to explode. And there are going to be so many more different people that you interact with. And actually it makes me think about a time when I was at university. I set up a rowing club, and this rowing club creation was based on goals that were very intrinsic to me. If I'd have set this club up because I thought, oh, someone else is setting up a club, so I fancy doing that for myself as well, I probably would have failed, and actually I probably wouldn't have enjoyed doing it, because I'd be doing it with the sole purpose of, let's try and make a club to be like the best it can possibly be. Whereas actually I was doing it because I enjoyed it, because I got value from it, and through doing that I opened myself up to so many more lines of communication. I spoke to so many different people who I'd never have otherwise spoken to, and I think that's really, really important, and that's something that we should take away. So I'll leave this video here with one final statement, and that is, the process is what results in the product. The chase is what makes the result worthwhile. The process of what we're going through is going to make everything worthwhile. Do not think about the final product. Think about the process that you're going through now, and do not be self-critical about yourself, because I guarantee you can quantify your self-critical thoughts into a different kind of mindset. Do not listen to them. Don't let them into your brain. Write them down. Think them through in a pragmatic, logical way, and just reach out. Share your voice with people, and I guarantee other people will share their voice with you too. Thank you.